Hi folks, hope you're okay today. This is an open letter to number 10 Downing Street and to the UK Parliament and to the judiciary of this country and every town council and city council in the UK. And my open letter to Parliament is as follows. I've given a lecture on democracy, public space and street preaching, and that is my default position, my absolute commitment to the democratic process, and any assessment of my beliefs, that is the key text, the key thinking in my mind about street preaching and democracy. And you cannot even begin to understand my position, my policy on street preaching unless you have had a dedicated study of a very important academic lecture that I gave on street preaching, public space and democracy. That lecture is 20 to 30 years ahead of its thinking, and a great deal of research went into that lecture over 6 months. So you need to go and study that as parliamentarians. It's called Democracy, Public Space and Street Preaching. This is an open letter to Parliament, and basically this is the statement that I'm giving as a street preacher in the UK. I, as a street preacher, will conduct myself and obey the laws of the land in terms of free speech. However, if I'm ever arrested by the police in any city or town or any village when I am conducting myself in a lawful way, obeying the law of the land and exercising my free speech as a preacher, then I want it to be known that you as a government and that you as parliamentarians, you as local authorities, are making a clear declaration of war on Christianity. At that point, when you make that declaration of war on Christianity, and that goes for any other street preacher, I will respond with passive resistance. I will not cooperate with the state, I will not cooperate with the judiciary, and I will not cooperate with Parliament. For at the point you arrest me, you have lost all legitimacy as a government, and you have lost all legitimacy as a judiciary, and as police, and as local authorities. You have lost all rights for being truly democratic and representing the people of our land. And I have a right and I have a responsibility to resist you and your authority. I will resist that authority by not cooperating with you whatsoever. The moment you arrest me is the moment that I will go on hunger strike. I will not, I repeat, will not lift my hunger strike until the local MP of the area where I am arrested and the mayor and the head of the police force come and apologize and release me. That is the only way I will be let out of a police cell. We will not be going to court. We will not be going to any legal proceedings. There's only two ways it will go. Either I die with my hunger strike, or you come and apologize and release me from my cell. That is the only response that you deserve if you declare war on Christianity and unlawfully arrest a street preacher. The days where you can boss street preachers around, the day when you can arrest them and play little political games in your local area are over. There's a line in the sand, and that line is we are a democratic nation and we are allowed free speech. And if you don't like free speech, then we are not democratic. And if we are not democratic, then you have lost legitimacy as a government. I'm making this statement very clear. You will not, I repeat, you will not bully any street preacher in our land anymore. The days where you can do that are finished. An arresting of a street preacher, if they have not broken the law, is a declaration of war by the state on Christianity, and it will be met not with bullets, not with bombs, but it will be met by passive resistance. That is to say, just as Martin Luther and Gandhi resisted evil with non-violence, so the police, the local government and national government will be resisted with non-violence. In effect, if you arrest me or any of the street preachers in the UK unlawfully, then you have declared political all-out war on Christianity. And my response will be to be going on hunger strike. And I will not lift that hunger strike until there is an apology from the Chief of Police, from the local MP and from the Mayor. You will not get me into court, because I'll be dead by the hunger strike. You have no right to arrest anybody unlawfully and to stop freedom of speech. It's as simple as that. I would rather lose my life and allow my blood to be shed on the altar of freedom of speech, so that everybody could have freedom of speech in our land, than to have my freedom of speech taken away and other people's freedom of speech taken away. And so to go on hunger strike would not be a sacrifice. So you need to be warned. We're going to higher stakes in the future if you begin to arrest Christians in the West. And if you arrest Christian street preachers because they're exercising the free speech and you don't like that, then be prepared that your all-out war on Christianity will be met with a strong, vigorous response of passive resistance. This has to be done because you are going to wage war on Islamic extremist hate preachers in the next few weeks and years ahead. And I know for a fact that what you will do is you will target Christian street preachers and call them hate preachers in order to placate the Muslim communities in our nation, who might feel that you're victimizing Islam because you're trying to take out these Islamic extremist hate preachers. So in order for you to show partiality, you're going to be arresting Christian so-called hate preachers. But I want to tell you that that isn't going to happen, because the moment you do that, then you've declared war on Christianity, and I'm not going to see you as a legitimate government. You're an illegitimate government and with illegitimate powers. and I will respond with passive resistance. That is to say, in the style of Martin Luther and Gandhi, I will go on a hunger strike. And I will not stop until I'm freed, or until my colleagues are freed. I'm making this clear now for future years ahead, what my policy is. My commitment to democracy is very, very clear, very well thought out, and ahead of its time, and is clear in my lecture, Democracy, Public Space and Street Preaching. My policy is so well thought out, it is better than the government policy of today, which is making a mess of our democratic public space, the use of public space in our democracy today. And I'm making it clear that this is where I stand. So any chief of police out there, or any town council or city council that feels it wants to get rid of street preachers, just remember that when you try to do that, it will not go pretty, it will not go easy with you. It's not going to be an easy affair, because you're going to have it will be a political football, it will be a political situation of a national crisis that you would have created. And so I'm warning you, touch the Lord's anointed, and you will receive passive resistance. The moment I'm arrested, I will not cooperate with the police, I will not even speak to them, I will say nothing, and they can lock me in the cell and I will not eat a thing. So be warned. Be warned. Be warned. You will not take street preachers off the street of the UK, because freedom is freedom and democracy is democracy, and that's my default position. Now let the street preachers do their work and leave them alone, and do not target them. Thank you for listening, and God bless.